Welcome all my echoes to the cover tournament. Now you might be wondering, what is the cover tournament? Well, thank you random viewer that came into my house. I will explain it to you. The cover tournament is essentially where I am going to be taking every single cover I've done this year, and I'm going to be running them in a tournament sort of sense, putting them against each other and seeing which cover is truly the best cover. Not much else I really have to say about that. For this first part, we're going to move a bit fast because there are a lot. I looked through all my covers and there are about 60 covers that I've done this year. And I've done this for 5 months, so 12 covers each month. Now you might also be wondering, oh, okay, so what's this I'm hearing in the background? That is all the covers. You are going to be listening to all the covers in the background. Now, will they all play? Who knows? That depends on how long this video is. But I'm going to make sure that plays in the background. However, I will not be able to listen to it. I didn't want to listen to it, but I made sure to listen to all the covers prior to this video, so that way I had 100% knowledge on every single cover, no matter how bad it was. With that being said, let us commence the first battle being Digital Hallucination versus Haunted Heart. Like I said, we're going to go pretty fast. We're going to try not to yap too long, at least for this first section. Okay. So off the bat, I think I have to give it to Digital Hallucination. It's just such a really good... It's just really good that I can't see myself not enjoying it. Especially since originally I thought that it was not going to work with my voice being more masculine. So I thought like, oh no, this video wasn't going to work for this. And then it just turned out being good. So it worked. So yeah, there's that. Alright. Dingaling versus Snowman. As much as I hate to admit it, I think I'm gonna give it to Dingaling. It does sound pretty good in retrospect, even though it has the high voice added onto it. Thunderbringer versus Ho Ho Ho. Oh, the first one. Okay. I gotta give it to the first one, Ho Ho Ho. Because the Thunderbringer unfortunately gets ruined by the high voice if you listen back to the song. I really hate it. Trifle Thumb versus Baby It's Cold Outside. I have to give this to Trifle Thumb, unfortunately. No. Maybe. I don't know. No, I gotta give it to Baby It's Cold Outside. As much as I do love Trifle Thumb, I only love it for the ending part. But Baby It's Cold Outside just sounds good all around. What's this? Terrible Things versus They'll Bust Your Kneecaps. I'm giving it to Terrible Things. I'll Bust Your Kneecaps is definitely a very good song, but can't stack up to Terrible Things. Next one. Shucks version 1 versus White Christmas. Off the bat, let me say this real quick. I didn't know that it was not called Shucks in the actual stuff. In the actual stuff, it's only referred to as Shucks. So that's my fault. But regardless, I gotta give it to White Christmas because I heavily dislike the way that I did Aw Shucks, both Aw Shucks version 1 and version 2. I dislike them. I hate it so much. Now we have Normalcy versus Left Behind. That's easy. Left Behind. Normalcy was a great addition to starting off the lower voice stuff, but Left Behind just did so well. And even though I need you all to go boost that video up a little bit more because I wish that video got a little more traction than it did, but unfortunately, what can you do? Okay. Now we have Get in the Water versus Twisted Toes. In the grand scheme of things, I think listening back to it, I might gotta give it to Twisted Toes. I do like the Get in the Water cover, but unfortunately, it's a little off at times. The voices aren't fully lined up because unfortunately I wasn't able to somehow. For some reason, that song is just really hard to line up a little bit, so that's just, it's my fault, but regardless, whose fault it is. Next. Dura's Eternal Madness versus Candy Cane Lane. Dura's Eternal Madness. Unfortunately, it's just... Not unfortunately. This song is really good, whether you're talking about the English or Spanish version. Real quick. I was sitting in class and I was trying to work this song because someone, I think, suggested it to me, and I was like, oh, I really want to do this, but it's in Spanish. And I don't know how to sing Spanish. I could probably speak it, but in terms of singing it, I didn't feel like I know it's just putting a rhythmic tone on Spanish words, but I didn't already feel like I could sing it already. Could I now? Maybe. sufriendo, haciendo, y que estás y tú. But like, I didn't feel confident at the time, so I was like, all right, let me switch it to English words. And then unfortunately, sufriendo obviously only, means suffering in English, but I couldn't just say suffering, burning in this hell because that just doesn't work. So I added a little extra lyrics onto it, and especially the last part where it's like, porque no demonio, which is just, why you little devil. But I think the way I did it was like, I sped it up a bit. I think it was I'm suffering and burning in this hell, lost in the abyss that you have caused, condemned to the punishment of having you, why you little devil. But the way that the song is originally supposed to be sound is, why you little devil. Like, the devil part was not really supposed to be stretched out that long. But I wanted to, because it sounded better. Alright, that's over. Okay, so next one. Oh, That's What I Do versus Tornado. Really hard. I think I gotta give it to Tornado. But I really do love That's What I Do because this video became someone's vocal headcanon for their character. This video right here. And I just love them for it. But yeah, I love the way I sing Tornado because I cannot tell you how many times I would listen back to my cover of that, like, constantly, day in and day out almost. Next one, I'm trying not to also look at the next songs that are coming up because I don't want to think about that yet. From the Start versus Not Sorry for Loving You. Two sort of love songs. One is actually a love song, the other one's a love quote unquote song. Funny enough, I think I gotta give it to Not Sorry for Loving You. I think it really sounds good all around, and while I do love my From the Start cover, for some reason, listening back to the Not Sorry for Loving You just sounds really good. But I'm not sorry for loving you. It just sounded so good. I don't know what it is. Also, I might be adding in the covers just so you know what they sound like in place of me singing it, just because I might. I don't know. I might. But anyway. Athos versus You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch obviously takes it. But unfortunately, this is the better of two evils. I don't really like, out of all the Christmas, like the 12 Days of Covermas songs I did, I'm not the biggest fan of my You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. But I'm also not a fan of the Athos, and so because this one's a bit newer and does sound a bit more cleaner, I have to give it to that one. Troublemaker, which version? The new version. Troublemaker New versus Your Friend. Interesting. I think I gotta give it to Your Friend. The Troublemaker New version was a great introduction, like literally the first introduction into getting this new format down, but it just probably wasn't going to go further than that. Scylla versus Happy Halloween. It obviously goes to Happy Halloween, but real quick story. During the 1 week of like the Halloween week, I planned that week a week before that week. See, as opposed to the 12 Days of Covermas, which I had planned like a whole month or two before, like I had this already planned. I knew I wanted to do this. I just needed to figure out what day I was going to do it. But I knew exactly what songs I was going to do it. I had most of them already covered. I had it planned. This I had planned a week before. Meaning I didn't even have the songs covered yet. I had to cover them that same day and then release them. However, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to do anything for the second day of Covermas, which is when Scylla came out. And so I kind of just had to find a song that I had already covered but never released because I didn't think it would sound good. And that ended up being Scylla. But unfortunately, the reason why it wasn't released was because it was still part of the 4-voice cover thing, where I was doing the high voice. And so all I did was just remove the high voice, but unfortunately that led to it being still kind of off key because I was trying to match up with a high voice that doesn't exist anymore. So just a little fun trivia just for you all, just because I figured I owe you a reason why that one sounds the weirdest out of the whole week. But yeah, some of these I will be giving explanations because I'm allowed to give explanations to some of these. Next one, No Longer You, specifically the short cover, not the full song, but Not Sorry for Loving You versus Merry for Not Christmas. Merry for Not Christmas, No Longer You unfortunately has a lot of issues, and it's part of the reason why I didn't do another full cover until Christmas. Yeah, because I'm remembering that this video is gonna release after Christmas, so yeah, I didn't have a plan until then. But next one is Rotten Smoothie versus Sons of Thors. Sons of Thors. For one, I love Daddy Fat Snaps. I know you will never see this, but if you somehow see this, thank you for making all your music. You're just the best. However, unfortunately, I also feel like I didn't do that song justice because my voice sounds so monotone during the whole thing, and I wish I did give a bit more energy. And I didn't give a lot of energy because I was more so trying to focus on the Christmas songs, and I just needed something to come out just to add to the algorithm. And unfortunately, that was also in the way. I just had to do it. Silly Billy versus This Christmas. I'll burn it to the ground. I would say this is a hard one, but it's not. It's not.
I know.
I don't know. Because the Silly Billy cover, it still sounds good to this day. A little off key, of course, but still sounds great to this day. But This Christmas does sound really great. You know what, actually? No, I don't want to come back to it. I don't want to be like, alright, I'll come back to it. No, let's not do that. We gotta solve this now. You know what? We are going to make the decision of Silly Billy. I think at the top of my head right now, it just sounds a little bit better. Even with the high voice, it just sounds a little bit better to me. Next one is Sleep Well versus Glitch. That easily goes to Glitch, but it's not close though. But I just love the way I did the Glitch one, because honestly, I didn't think it was going to work the way it did, and yet somehow it worked pretty well. This Day versus Ho 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 version 2. Fun fact, This Day was supposed to release on YouTube before everything else. But because I forgot to release it, it released like way later. But if you go on TikTok, it's my first cover. So technically, Corrosion is the first cover on TikTok, but the second cover that I've done it's the first cover on, it's the first cover on YouTube, but not the first cover on TikTok. That goes to This Day. However, on YouTube, Corrosion is the first one. So yeah, little fun fact. However, Ho 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 version 2 obviously takes the win. I don't like the way This Day sounds. It sounds good at first, and then it's just like, that's only because of nostalgia a little bit. Sawdust versus No Big Deal. Love the way I dig No Big Deal. I love the way I dig No Big Deal. But Sawdust takes it. It was almost my redemption, and we're gonna get a real redemption later on in this list, but that was one of my first redemptions where I did a song basing around the character of Does Bad Things Guy, and this was the first time I did a song about him that people didn't dislike. They were like, finally, this sounds good. They were just like, we asked for food and you finally fed us. And I was like, you're welcome. I finally learned how to cook. Next one, Daisies versus Shucks Retold. Here is our redemption. As much as I love Daisies, Shucks Retold just has way too much sentimental and also just better value to me. Even though I love You versus I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. What an interesting conundrum. I think I gotta give it to I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Again, the high voice kind of ruins the song. See, for a couple of these, the high voice isn't too bad, and then for others of these, the high voice really ruins the song. But, to each their own. Hot Shucks version 2 versus Shadows from the Grave. Easily goes to Shadows from the Grave. Like I said, I don't like any of the songs that I did for Hot Shucks. Both version 1 and version 2. Both of them just heavily underperform, in my opinion. Next one, I'm Alvin versus All I Want for Christmas is, yeah, that's easy. I don't like the way I'm Alvin sounds anyway. Honestly, I didn't even want to cover that song, but because people were asking for it, and it was during my early years, not years, but early days of, I guess early months, I don't know, early times of doing covers, it just was inevitable that I would try to do it. Nerdy Prudes Must Die versus Funked Up. I'm giving it to Funked Up. It's not close though because I really do like Nerdy Prudes Must Die and I wish it could go further in this tournament. But unfortunately, it got matched up with a song that I really like and that got featured, I guess you could say featured, but got featured in a video with 3 other amazing singers. And that video has garnered already over like 100 something likes. So great job to the user, and at the same time, thank you for putting me in that. Yo versus Santa Has His Eye on Me. Santa does have his eye on me. Has his eye on that being the winner. Because, yo, it falls in the same area as Athos. They both were recorded at the same time. Fun fact, actually, they both were recorded after I got a lot of backlash from my first Aw Shucks attempt. And so because of that, I was feeling really down and just didn't have the motivation to do videos. So those two were unfortunately not doing a lot of want to actually try. Troublemaker, old version versus Iron Lung. Easily goes to Iron Lung, and unfortunately it's not that close. Right, now we are on to round 2 of cover tournament. So, without further ado, let's continue. Ooh. Lovely. Corrosion versus Digital Hallucination. As much as it would be such an underdog move from one of my first covers to make it as far as I would want it to, you got packed up against Digital Hallucination. You basically put your first OC versus your strongest OC. Not even your latest, your strongest OC. Digital Hallucination is one of my strongest songs that I have done. And it's good. It's good. It's really good. It's great almost. It's not my most viewed video. Those two I think have already been eliminated. Never mind. I forgot. Dingling. It's my second most viewed and liked video. The first one being Triple Thumb, but I already got rid of that. So, Dingling versus Ho 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 version 1. Unfortunately, I know all of you are going to hate me. This just sounds a little bit better than the Ho 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 version. I only like it for one part in Ho Ho Ho. It's the Ho Ho Ho, Merry Christmas from the pole. I only like that part. Everything else is kind of mid, in my opinion. And again, that comes from the artist. Like, from the end. Maybe It's Cold Outside versus Terrible Things. Ooh. I love Terrible Things. I love how it sounds. But the cover that I did with one of my greatest friends, Nick. Hi, Nick. But one of my greatest friends, Nick, just sounds amazing. And it's really good. I don't have too many problems with... See, this is the problem with getting down to the nitty-gritty. Because, like, now I almost have to, like, really think and really stretch a bit. Which one, if I had the choice to, like... If I had to go in, like... No. I can't think. I think if I really had to, I'm gonna give it to Baby It's Cold Outside. Really good song. It just really worked, and I can't see any problems or qualms with it. Next one, White Christmas versus Left Behind. Left Behind easily. Like, it's almost no competition with that one. That one just... Like, as much as I love the White Christmas one, which I actually don't really like it all too much, like I said before. Crimson Awakening versus Twisted Toes. Twisted Toes because I really dislike the entirety of Crimson Awakening. The only part I like, kind of, and it's again kind of, is the last part where I scream. Just like, I scream something. I'm not even going to try to think too hard about what I scream. Anyway, Jura's Eternal Madness versus Tornado. We are in a conundrum now, folks. I love the way Tornado sounds, but I also love the Dura's one, and I just... My dear, no, you don't have to. I think I gotta give it to Dura. I really am thinking right now, and it's just... I love the way I go, like... You there. It's like, why you... Wait, what was it like? Little devil. Like, the high voice, again, in this one, I said it before, this is one of the few times the high voice does wonders for this song. I love it. It's so good. Twiddlefinger versus Not Sorry for Loving You. Yeah, Twiddlefinger was not making it far. Sorry, not sorry, but Not Sorry for Loving You just sounds way better. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch versus Your Friend. I gotta give it to Your Friend. Like I said, I don't really like how You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch sounds already, so Your Friend just already takes it. Drop and Roll. Ooh, my second cover on YouTube, my third cover on TikTok. Unfortunately, also gets beat out for one reason. And I think it's only because I did the rap at the end. If I didn't do that boyfriend rap at the end, I think I would have probably put this over Happy Halloween. But because I did, I can't see me liking it. Merry FNAF Christmas versus Son of Thors. Like I said, I don't really like how I did Son of Thors, and therefore Merry FNAF Christmas takes this. Doing great, folks. Silly Billy versus Glitch. Ooh, hard one. A really good attempt at a rap song versus a really good attempt at a very vocal-like song. I think though Glitch just sounds better. That I would listen to more of it. This is the last one for 2. Nope, got a bit more. Alright, there we go. Okay. Next one. Ho 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 version 2. Jeez, that Ho 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 version 2 versus Sawdust. Sawdust.
My heart is a haunted house. Once you're in, you ain't getting
Actually,
out.
I think Ho 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 version 2. Because I'm remembering Sawdust, and I'm remembering that at the end of the song, I mess up the way it sounds slightly, because that one part gets ruined, but I can't think of a singular moment in Ho 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 version 2 that I messed up for. And so I think I gotta give it to Ho 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 version 2. Ooh, Basics of Behavior. My third cover on YouTube, and my fourth one on TikTok. And unfortunately, just gets beat up. Unfortunately, a big problem with a lot of these is not because they're bad, but they're getting pit up against songs that I just have way too big of a connection to. Next one. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus versus Shadows from the Grave. A song about not actual infidelity, but a song about affairs versus a song about death, I suppose. And really, ignoring the fact that it's not synced up with the video, this one just sounds too good. That I just can't help but love. All I Want for Santa Claus is You. All I Want for Christmas is You versus Funked Up. Easily Funked Up. It easily takes it. It's no competition. Santa Has His Eye on Me versus Iron Lung. Yeah, Santa, you no longer have your eye on anything. Definitely not this win. Ha ha ha. Now, let us move on. Alright, round 3. Let's do this. Alright, first one, Digital Hallucination versus Ding-a-ling. Good picks. Digital Hallucination has to take it though. Some of these will be hard. Yep, there it is. Some of these will be hard. This one, I love the cover I did with Nick. The Left Behind just sounds so good. So I'll make you bleed all just nope, unfortunately, it gets beat out. Left Behind just has to take it. It just does wonders. It just does wonders. Twisted Toes versus Dura. Yeah, Dura has to take it. It's good. Not Sorry for Loving You versus Your Friend. Oh, you made it far. But You're only gonna make it so far.
I've got a name to uphold, so I can't go letting you walk.
I hate to say it, but your friends is better. I don't hate to say it.
Ooh,
how fun! Happy Halloween versus Merry Christmas. Halloween versus Christmas. How fun! Almost thematic. Almost like someone planned this. I didn't plan this, but still thematic. Regardless, though, this is a hard one. I love the way that I did the Happy Halloween one, but I also love the way I did Semifinals Christmas. The word is bad tonight. Stay inside and have a bite. Versus this is happy Halloween. We're gonna laugh and play so ding and dong. I think I'm going to give it to Happy Halloween. I think it gets a bit more energy from me than possibly the FNAF Christmas one. Glitch versus Ho-Ho version 2. Love it so much, but Glitch is just way too good. Now,
and if I push you, or if I
let's run them down.
too
What
strong,
do we have left? We have Glitch, Happy Halloween, Your Friend, Dura's Eternal Madness, and Left Behind, and Digital Hallucination. Off the bat, who takes this Digital Hallucination or Left Behind? And I think
I'm not sorry for loving you.
Left Behind has to take it. I love the way I did the Digital Hallucination one, but Left Behind just has something a bit more to it. Next one. Dura's Eternal. This is Your Friend. Dura's Eternal. I love it. It's just good. I really wish I had more to say. Next one. Happy Halloween versus Glitch. Glitch. Easily. I love it. Oh. Silly me. I seem to have forgotten. Okay. Whoops. I somehow forgot this. How did I do that? Okay. Shucks Retold versus Shadows in the Grave. Shucks Retold takes that one. And then Funked Up versus Iron Lung. Funked Up takes it. Wow. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I overlooked it. Anyway, Shucks Retold versus Funked Up. As much as I love it, as much as great as it is, I gotta give it to Shucks Retold. I really wanted to give it to Funked Up, but I can't. Okay, now, added with some lovely music, well, with their respective music, we have Shucks Retold, Glitch, Dura's Eternal Madness, Left Behind. Who's going on to the finale, folks? Left Behind versus Dura's Eternal Madness. It's great. It's great. But I think Left Behind takes it. I think if I ever redo Dura's Eternal Madness and it's in my lower voice version now, I think this could go all the way. I think this could really take every single cover that I probably will ever do. And the last one. Glitch versus Shucks Retold. I personally have to give it to Glitch. Shucks Retold made it very, very far. Honestly, I thought it would take the whole thing at this point, but Glitch just sounds amazing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, because we have our finale. Our finalists. Our last ones. In fact, for the finalists, we're going to play their entire song. And with that, now that you listen to that, do you have your votes? Do you have your bets? Do you have your ideas? Because I do, and my vote is going to go to Glitch. I have to give it to Glitch. It's just such a good song, and it's just way too amazing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the final pick. And our winner of the whole song cover tournament goes to Glitch. Such a wonderful, wonderful cover. Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. With our second place being obviously Left Behind, and Shucks Retold and Dura's Eternal Madness obviously being in third place. Thank you all so much for being here and enjoying my covers, and I cannot wait to show all of you the amazing covers that I do in 2025. And maybe I'll do some redo. Maybe I'll redo some of these covers, or we'll just let them stay as perfect as some of them are. But with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess also listening. I hope you all have an amazing and since this video should be coming out before it, I'll see you one more time for the highlight video. So, with all this, while not yet goodbye, I suppose for right now, I will see you all later. Bye-bye, my echoes.